One of the greatest abilities that humans have is their ability to face problems. Nowadays, many people try to avoid accidents or at least be prepared for them. That is why, according to the National Center for Health Statistics, 87% of US adults have, have an insurance policy. However, no matter how hard someone tries to avoid accidents or be prepared for them, they can never be fully prepared or escape a tragedy. That is the sad truth my mother and her siblings learned at a young age. My mother and her four siblings were born and raised in Bolivia, a little country in South America. They lost their parents at a pretty young age. When my mother was 3 years old, her father died. 2 years later, her mother also died. They only left them with the house where they live and a little store in the same street. At the time this tragedy happened, my aunt Elsa, the older of the siblings, was 22 years old and was still in college, while the rest of her siblings were underage. With only the store and counting with each other, my mother and her siblings faced the war by themselves. While still grieving for the death of her parents, my aunt Elsa decided to take care of her four siblings because there was no one who would want to adopt four kids. Moreover, she did not want to separate her siblings after what they suffered. So, in order to raise four kids, she had to give up many things. She gave up her life. She dropped up, she dropped out of college before she can even finish, in order to devote herself to her family. She started to run the store that my grandparents left her. There she worked day and night because she was the only financial support of the family. Her efforts were not in vain because she was able to enroll the four of her siblings in private schools and still be able to bring food to the table. Her efforts were also supported by their siblings. Despite of being much younger than my aunt Elsa, my mother and her siblings decided to help her in the way they could. In Bolivia, it is common for kids to help or work in the stores that their family owns. That is why my mom and her siblings opened a second store in the house where they live. House where they live. This store was attended by by my mother and her underage siblings, while my aunt Elsa worked in the other store. At the same time, my mother and her siblings were still on school, so they have to deal with the responsibilities of school and the stores. They were able to balance both pretty well. My mother was able to graduate with honors from was able to graduate from with honors from her high school. Moreover, she even got a scholarship to study abroad. One of her sisters, Rosario, decided to change one of the stores and transform it into a bakery. This was so famous that now she has multiple bakeries in the same city. The other sister, Veneranda, decided to study accounts because she wanted to help my aunt Elsa with the store. And my uncle Cristobal is now a metallurgic engineer. He also got a scholarship to study abroad. They took the best of the situation they were placed in, and they did not let that tragedy defeat them. My mother and her siblings overcome a situation that for most people would seem impossible. and that is why I admire them. My aunt also showed me that family is going to be always there to help me no matter how hard the situation is. Also, she showed me that no matter how big the problem is, there is always a solution, and there is always a solution. And this solution may not be easy. However, it's my responsibility to make it possible. My mother and her siblings show me how problems can be solved. That is why they are my inspiration. They are my family.